Oh,
Okay. First off, thank you for driving all the way here. Sorry for the short notice. I didn't confirm.
it's okay.
Yeah. So would you please introduce yourself, name, rank, where you're from?
Okay. Well, I am George Herman Trono, Quartermaster Chief, U.S. Navy. I'm from Las Piñas, Philippines.
What year did you join the Navy?
1961.
Before my mom.
1961. I was only 18 years old.
So how did that work? So were you one of the few the Filipinos that were joining in Sangli or in Subic?
Yeah, in Sangli Point.
Sangli Point.
Yeah, we were during the time. I think we were about 100 guys who took the exam, but there's only about 20 of us that passed.
What was on the exam? Was it just like English proficiency?
Yeah,
and
English
stuff?
proficiency. Yeah.
So how did you learn English beforehand?
Well, my mother's an American.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it.
Yeah, my father is a Filipino.
Okay,
Yeah.
very nice.
That's why I was one third American, and my mom is a mestiza American, and she spoke English.
So
She's a teacher.
that helped out a lot.
That helped a lot. Yeah.
So you left from Sangli. You did your training in Sangli too, or did you do your training in San Diego?
San Diego. We
San
were
Diego.
recruited at Sangli. Then we get transferred to San Diego for training, boot camp training.
What was that process like traveling from Sangli, and then your first time in America was when you went to San Diego?
First time there was no jet plane. You know, we were in the four propeller thing airplane, and we have to stop at Wake, we have to stop at Guam, then Hawaii. You have so many stopovers, and man, I mean that's a long trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your experience, or what were you feeling when you first arrived to America?
Oh boy, it was. I don't know. It was sort of glad because that's one of my dreams. You know, to join the United States Navy and be in America and serve. But I didn't know then. I thought it was being a sailor is just a plain sailor. You know, swap decks and things like that. But I didn't know that there were so many kind of job on the ship. You know.
What did you originally pick though? Because I thought Filipinos were kind of
Steward.
limited, right? So you started off
Yeah,
as a steward.
during the time, the Filipinos are recruited as steward, not because of being Filipino, but I think that's based on the agreement between the the American and the Philippine government.
So, but you became a quartermaster, but that must have had a lot of difficulty.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
going into that, right?
Oh yeah.
So how did that happen? You started off as a steward again, was that?
No, I was after boot camp. A lot of these American guys that was in our training, they all went to school, but they didn't send me to any school, so I finished boot camp as a seaman apprentice without any designation.
Oh man.
And then the first place they sent me was El Centro, California. I was
Very hot.
very hot, very hot. And then in El Centro, we had about 3 Filipinos in the yeoman rating, and they want me to strike as a yeoman
Okay, because you're Filipino.
because I'm Filipino. They're like, no, I said no, I don't want to be a yeoman. I just, first of all, I want to be a bosunmate.
Full-fledged.
Boat, yeah. He said, no, you can't be because you're not on a ship, So they look at my service records. They find out I was a swimmer. I was a varsity swimmer in Mapua.
Oh.
I finished college. I went to college to.
What did you study college for? What was your studies?
Business,
Okay.
major in accounting. Because they're the one who picked me the course because the swimming training is really hard,
Yeah.
So they want me to just get me an easy course. So I went there, and then I was on my 3rd year college when I decided, well, I'll try to join the United States Navy.
Yeah,
So
what made you want to join though? Because I feel like since you were already in college, better than most people in the Philippines during that time, right? Like
Yeah.
Marcos was just
Marco,
ending or beginning.
yeah, well,
I think it was just beginning.
going to college is just part of my dream to get ready to join the United States Navy.
Okay, so that was the ultimate goal.
That's my ultimate goal.
Okay.
I want to study. I want to have a college something before I join the Navy. And yeah, They called me up. We took the exam. We were about 90 of us that took the exam. And about more than 20 of us passed. The first thing though, we was scared because they kept calling names, you know. And my name wasn't called. I said, oh shit, I must have flunked, you know. I must have flunked exam. And then all of a sudden he said, okay, the recruiter says, okay, all the names that I called, go inside the bus. I said, oh shit. All the names that I didn't call remain. You guys passed. I said, oh shit. Oh man. So then we had the interview. Okay. The interviewer told me, I said, your name is George, right? I said, yeah. Your middle name is Herman. I said, yeah. Do you have any American in your family? I said, yeah, my mother, my grandfather is American. But right here, you know, your application says you're a Filipino. I said, well, yeah, that's all I know. I didn't. He said, okay, wait a minute. So he called the U.S. Embassy. He said, they had to talk. Then he looked at me. You know that you are an American citizen? I said, what? I know that. And he said, you're not 18 yet. You're only 17. I said, oh shit.
Oh shit.
I lied on my age. Okay? I lied, really. But since you passed, go get your parents' consent.
Okay.
And then we'll accept you even though you are still 17 years old.
Yeah, because you can just wait the year before you do anything, right?
So I said, okay. I said, but my parents didn't know that I applied. Well, you tried, so I went home. And then I told my mom and dad, I said, okay, I joined the United States Navy. I need your consent. I said, they won't give me the consent. He said, you're only 18 years old. And you are in your third year of college. Finish it up. I said, no, I don't want to. I want to join the United States Navy. No, we will not give you consent. So I went back to the recruiter. I said, well, my parents won't give me. He said, I said, well, okay. You had about 3 to 4 months
before you turn 18.
Before you turn 18.
Yeah.
When you turn 18, you just come back here.
Okay.
I said, okay. So I came back. When I turned 18 November 16, I went back.
Pero bakit yung first choice mo is Navy? How come you didn't want to pick Army, Marines? Bakit Navy?
You know, in Las Piñas, we are right by what you call the Manila Bay.
Yeah.
And
before it was dirty or when it was so clean?
It was so clean. And each time I've seen those gray ships anchored by Sangley Point, you can see it, you know.
Yeah.
And then at night, you can see all those sailors in our place. We had nightclubs in our place.
Partying. Yeah,
and I've seen these white uniforms partying, and I said, "Oh boy, this is the life I want to be," you know. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so nothing changes then, right?
Nothing,
it's all the same. Okay,
yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, nothing. I said to myself, when I joined the United States Navy, I will get as much girlfriends I can have. You know, I'll get a girlfriend every port. You know, and that's what it did. You know, yeah. So that's a plan. You know, being young. You know, so I joined, and then we had the training. They took me to Central, and I was placed in a special service office department, and all the shit job they put you in there.
Like what?
Like cleaning the hostess house, cleaning the theater, cleaning, even picking up those goddamn shells and the firing.
Oh my god! They had you do that?
Yeah.
So it's not if you shoot it you have to clean up. It's like the stewards are gonna do it.
That's part of our. I know they are all under special services departments. Cleaning area.
How long did you do that for?
I did that. I was there March, April, May. Then they let me took the E3 exam right away out of boot camp, and then I think they let me take that QM3 exam too.
Oh, so you had already became a QM at that? At
Not
this
yet.
point? Not yet. Okay.
Not yet,
But
because-
you were striking for it.
Yeah, they won't even recommend me
Mm.
because I've never been on a ship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any navigation training, no schools, nothing whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So I want the EXO talk to me. He's a good-hearted fellow, Lieutenant Commander Smith. I cannot forget his name.
Mm-hmm.
He called me in his office, and he said, "Trono, I heard you want to be a quartermaster." I said, "Yes, sir." "But you haven't been, you haven't been on a ship." I said, "You never have any navigation school." But I told him, I said, "Well, I'm reading this QM3 2 corresponding course for quartermaster. I found it in a trash can, and I just kept reading it. I kept reading it, and I said, "Oh man, I like this," So he told me, I said, "Okay, this is the deal. Order a corresponding course. If you pass it, then I'll recommend you."
Mm-hmm.
So they ordered me the corresponding course. I did it and I passed it. So
Nice.
they let me took the exam.
Okay.
It was September they took the exam. I think August or September. Then by October, before the results came back, I already had an order
Mm-hmm.
to ship USS Jackson, Japan. So I was an E3 then. So I got transferred to Japan to the ship. I was in deck force, I like those shipping pain. And
Actually, the
then
boats and
the ship is getting our way the following day.
Yeah.
And it was a postmate, Gamewarden Wilson, called me up. He said, "George, pack up." I said, "I just got in what do you mean pack up? Am I getting transferred?" I said, "Yes, you are."
Huh?
I said, "Oh shit, where?" "Oh, you're getting transferred to the navigation department. You are a QM3 tomorrow." I said, "Oh shit, man."
That's how you found out.
Yeah, I said, QM3. Oh man.
So from the ship, right? You're doing
From
you
the
did
ship.
QM.
Yeah, QM, yeah. Yeah.
So how does a QM end up in PBR?
Oh, PBRs, okay. From the QM, I was, it was a big story. When they had a QM2 was in charge then, okay? But he got transferred right away. So the relief was a QM1 Gallagher, I cannot forget his name. But he's a diver.
Mm-hmm.
And him and the navigator always had an argument about the ship's position and things like that. So he didn't last long. He got transferred. So his relief was a signalman, QMC Brown, SMC Brown. Again, he doesn't know how to navigate. So at that time, we went to the yards, okay? So I took my vacation, but I already took the E5 exam. So what? I was home. They sent me a what you call
Home sa Pilipinas? Or
yeah, sa Pilipinas.
Okay.
The ship sent me what you call a message. He said, "Congratulations, you are a QM2 now." I said, "Oh man."
Ilang beses yung leave mo though?
I was there for 30 days.
Oh, okay.
So when I came back, the messenger told me, I said, "The navigator wants to talk to you." I said, "Okay." So I went and said, "Okay, what do you want to talk to me about?" He said, "Then Lieutenant Johnson is the navigator." Okay, he said, "George, you will be the assistant navigator." I said, I'm only E5.
Mm-hmm.
And I just made E5. What happened to Chief Brown? "Oh, we got him transferred."
Mm-hmm.
"How about his relief?" You know what? He told me, "Shit, we might have another goddamn diver, another goddamn signalman. We don't need that."
Yeah.
But I just made E5.
Second. Yeah.
That's okay. Talk to the XO. So I went to the XO, Commander Epps. He said, "George, you will be the assistant navigator." But I just made E5. "No problem. I've been watching you. You'll be a good quartermaster." I said, "Okay, sir." So I made E5. Then I got transferred. I re-enlisted.
Okay.
I re-enlisted for an icebreaker,
Ano yan?
AGV-1.
Oh, okay. The ship.
The one that goes to Antarctica,
Yeah.
North and South Pole, I said, "You must be crazy." That's what the EXO told me. You can have a choice of duty. No, I said, I want to learn navigation. I want to learn the celestial navigation.
Yeah.
I want a ship that goes north, south, east, west.
So using like the old tools, like the
The
sextant.
old tools, the sextant, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. So when I came back from duty from an icebreaker, I didn't last too long on any ship. I get transferred to this time we get back from Westpac, I get transferred to another ship, see? During that time, the Vietnam had started. And they were really hurting for QMs and bosun mates and engine men.
For PBR.
Yeah, for PBR.
So how did you hear about it? Just
Okay, I got transferred to a new ship, USS Summers. DDG, I think it was a DDG. So I went to the transient in Long Beach. US Naval transient.
I live right there.
Long Beach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live, you know where the Naval Hospital used
Naval
to be?
Hospital, yeah.
I'm 5 minutes away from the
Oh,
Naval
yeah,
Hospital,
wow,
the old
that's
Naval
nice.
Hospital.
The old
yeah.
Naval Hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in transient, and then I met this first class QM that he got orders 2 PBRs. And he kept, man, every day he asked me, George, why don't we swap? I said,
Ayaw siya?
ayaw niya, because, oh, why? Because I know that if I go to the PBRs, my wife will divorce me. I said, oh shit. So I was single then, you know. So I asked him, I said, okay, how can we get our order changed? Then he said, okay, let's go drive to Coronado because Coronado is where we're going to train. And right there we can change. I said, okay, so we drove to Coronado and we went to the office there and they just changed names. so he went to the USS Summers, I went to the PBR training. Yeah.
How was that training like? Because you went
4 months.
4 months in
4 months.
Coronado and then you went to Vallejo too, right?
4 months in Vallejo. We went to that SEER training, that survival, escape, resistant, and evasion training.
I mean, I feel like it's no different than living in Manila, right?
That was hell. That was hell. Yeah. It's about 3 weeks, yeah. And then we were taught how to make drinking water out of your pee.
Huh?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
We dig a hole in the ground,
Okay.
okay, and then put our canteen, you know, that metal canteen inside, and put a plastic cover on it. You have to pee on it first. Pee on the ground. You have to pee on the ground. Yeah. You have to pee on the ground.
Okay.
You have to pee on the ground. And then put your canteen, put the plastic on top.
It's gonna like start.
And then
it's gonna percolate.
it will evaporate. And then, yeah. It tastes good though. It's water. It becomes water. Yeah. Yeah.
Ayoko.
Three weeks. You have to learn it because they didn't give you no food. You have to find your own food for 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
But
Yeah.
how about the bugs? But you, I mean,
Yeah.
but when you're in the Philippines, you
Even
you ate salagubang, right?
the mold, garbage mold. Yeah, I eat that. You can eat that. Yeah, you can eat that.
I will look this up. I believe you, but I was like, that can't be good
Cactus.
for you.
You can eat cactus.
Cactus, yeah, I know you can eat.
I eat
you
cactus.
gotta shave the needles off, and then you can.
You can eat. You take the skin
nopales,
off.
yeah, put it in a
You know,
taco.
particularly the long one like that.
Yeah, the best one.
Yeah, if you take the skin off, inside it, there's some kind of a bud.
A bug.
So it looks like, but if you eat it, it tastes like peanut or something like that.
Ah.
Yeah, I learned how to eat that. And then you have to learn how to catch squirrels.
You kill the rabbit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they had so many trainees in there. The rabbits and squirrels are scared to be we can't catch anything, but we caught a snake.
Snake is good.
Snake is good.
I've had snake before.
Yeah, we had a good snake stew one night there.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But the rest of the time, yeah, I cactus, things like that.
So SEER training, Vallejo, you guys
Yeah.
were on. Were they the PBRs or were they the Mark
Not
1s?
yet. Mark 1.
Mark 1.
Mark ones, yeah, Mark ones.
How was that? Because those are slower, right?
I think there's a faster.
They're the fastest.
Slick.
Mm.
The Mark IIs are lower and wider, but the Mark ones are sleek, you know.
Mhm.
It's not wide.
Anong position mo sa Mark 1?
I'm the gunboat. I'm the captain.
So you got your boat captain before you went to Vietnam?
Yeah, that was I was the gunboat captain.
What was the process like for getting coxswain? Because for me it was very difficult.
It is because the PBRs, we had jacuzzi pumps. It's an engine.
Yeah.
We don't have those. We don't have no rudder.
No props.
No props.
Yeah.
It's a jacuzzi pump. So you really have to
Manipulate
it.
Yeah.
You know. One thing though, they said that you can walk the PBR, because it has no rudder. But
you can crab it. Yeah.
Yeah, but we were able to walk it and stuff like that. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then after the PBR, at what you call at Suisun Bay, that's where we had our training.
But I mean, because they told me that, like you're saying, when you being Filipino, there was already difficulties with you becoming QM.
Yeah.
So how did you get recommended for boat captain then?
They got no choice.
Slim pickings or
Slim
what?
picking, yeah. Because I think that the thing that they're really looking into is how your command of the English language. Because once you get in a firefight, your instinct will come out. I say you might talk Tagalog and things like that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You might get so excited, if you're in a firefight.
Patay.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that they're what you call avoiding to get, because no matter how you look at it, you're going to get shot at in Vietnam.
What year did you arrive in Vietnam?
67.
Okay, so my mom was just born then.
August. Yeah, August. Yeah, June, July, August. Yeah, about August 1967. Yeah, I was August 1967.
And then what was the river section? What was the patrol
532.
section? 532.
Yeah, 532 at Mito. You stationed in southern part by the Mekong Delta. Southern part, yeah, Mekong Delta.
That was you were already doing game wardens at that point.
Oh
right?
yeah. It's already. I'll show you all the. It's there, And like you said, being a Filipino, some of the crew members sort of hesitant to, to talk to you sometimes.
Yeah. Especially since you have the boat captain.
I am the boat captain,
Yeah.
and sometimes they're hesitant to follow your orders, like that, But I have a way to make them follow me.
What was your way of making them follow you? I want to know your secret.
I tell him, you are being paid to follow my orders, damn it.
And then they fall in line.
You better follow my order.
Kasi you QM1 ka or in?
Yeah, I'm a QM1, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And I don't, they're out on patrol one night, They're always taking you for granted, And my forward gunner, he was falling asleep. So I took my turret and fired it right by his ears. I said, next time, son of a bitch.
Fall asleep, see what happens.
Yeah. And since then, I said, no, this place is no joke, We're here to fight, and by God, it doesn't matter, I am a Filipino or what, you're white, I am the boat captain. Now, if I screwed up on this boat, all of us will die, God damn it, so you better follow my orders. If I tell you to shoot, you shoot, And then we had a firefight, we had so many firefights, and they, they seen how I handled the boat and how I maneuvered my boat in the firefight, and then
were you buckets or were you using mainly helm? Mainly helm for speed?
For speed, you mean?
No, like so you said that what's your driving style? Because nowadays for the coxswains, especially for the patrol boats, we're still using jets. We hardly ever use props.
Yeah, we still the jets. Yeah.
So were you? For me, I don't like using. I'll use buckets just to maneuver inside areas, right?
Yeah.
But I like to drive. I like to drive fast, so I only use helm.
But there are times, when you're in a gunfight, you really have to. Your instinct really
kicks
works,
in.
kicks in.
How many firefights can you remember?
I had so many. I had so many firefights here. I have so many firefights.
Oh my gosh, you got the whole staff.
Yeah, so that's I might as well show it to you. Yeah.
Vietnam files.
They see. That's how many firefights I had, how many patrols I did, how many firefights I had.
320 patrols under hostile fire of 33 of them.
Mm-hmm.
September 9th, 1967 to March 17th, 1969.
Yeah.
Well, you were there for a long time.
I know.
I thought that I was told that they were only like 1 year,
No,
1
yeah,
year
1 year
order.
tour. Then you're out.
But you volunteered for more.
They said I'm crazy. I said no. I tell you what, I don't care how hard your job is. Once you start liking it,
It's hard, huh?
it becomes a little bit easier,
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like shooting and things like that. I got used in the firefight, see? Yeah. And
33 hostile patrols out of 320 in 2 years. That's very
that's
impressive.
a lot.
That's
isn't it?
very impressive. Yeah.
And my point there was, if I stay here for another year, I'll be saving one life. Because a lot of guys that get killed there are newcomers.
Just why do you think that you guys are dying though? It's from lack of experience, or
I think so. And they think they're John Wayne. So I kept telling them, now, if you think you're John Wayne, you could be a dead John Wayne here,
When you have the new guy, are they automatically being in the forward gun tub?
It depends what his rating is. If he's a gunner's mate, engineman, or something like that.
So engineman goes in the back.
Engineman goes in the back.
Gunner's mate
Gunner's
front,
mate, and we
aft.
have a seaman.
Okay.
Seaman is an all-round thing,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I told him, with my experience, I know that I can save lives there. Because patrolling the river,
Mm-hmm.
you have to think like the enemy. You have to know your spots. Every spot of that river, you have to know it by heart.
Mm-hmm.
And even at nighttime, I seldom use my radar
But you're a QM. How are you navigating?
by treetops.
You just look at the treetops. You can remember each. Where,
Daytime, daytime,
Yeah.
I watch the treetops.
Were the treetops speaking Vietnamese? Is that
You
why?
can see you can see those treetops.
the
I know
silhouette.
these tall trees. I know where I'm at. Because when you turn that radar on,
The light.
it has light, and they sight on you.
Even if you put the hood on, they can still see you, huh?
They can still see you. Yeah, that's light. Yeah,
Man, so you guys are doing night patrols, no nav lights, none of that.
you have to, because you really have to be careful there, because the Vietcongs are always on the banks, river banks. They always report where you at and who's the boat captain, who's the boat in that area.
Mm-hmm. They know.
They know.
So when they see you, they think you're a
They
Vietnamese
see
guy,
you,
huh?
they know, yeah. And once they got that information, they use the blind spot to cross.
Blind spot. Oh, you're talking about when they turn the bend.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta ask you. So I see the NAM with the V. I see a Silver Cross car presidential unit. So how did you get the NAM with the V, and how did you get your Silver Cross?
Well, in one of the firefights, my one of my cover boat, PBR 139, was blown to pieces at Raku. He was hit by a B-40 rocket. I was lucky because I don't know. I kept telling, when I patrol, I don't go in a straight line. I zigzag my boat, and I kept telling that to the newcomers, the new boat captain. Don't make a target out of your boat. Keep moving it. Zigzagging like that, and that's what I did when I was zigzagging and the B-40 came out. I was zigzagging like that, so it hit the back of my boat. but it didn't hit solid, you know. But PBR 139, he was hit solidly. It sunk right away, and the crew jumped off. It was midnight, you know, and all I heard was the gunboat captain, BM1B, bosun mate Aiken. He said, "George, I'm hit, I'm sinking." I was already out of the kill zone, but when I hear that, I turned around and I fought the Viet Cong right by the river bank, see? And you will never believe this. This PBR 139, the only thing left with his bow and his forward gunner, Gherkin was the name, Seaman Gherkin. He was upside down, he was still firing, man.
Is that what the dual 50s? Or
Yeah.
just the...
Yeah. He was still firing. I said, God damn. You know? So once we get pacified the whole thing, I turn out and pick him up out of the boat. So I asked him, "Hey, Gherkin, where are they?" "They're in the water. They're all in the water." I said, "Why didn't you jump?" You know what he told me? He said, "Fuck you, George, I can't swim." Yeah, you know, that's how humorous these guys are. No, you know, they're close to death and they can still find humor. Those are the PBR sailors. Yeah.
I like that. So nothing changes then.
Nothing.
It's the same. It's the same nowadays.
Yeah.
To go.
Yeah, I said, "Gherkin, why didn't you jump?" I said, "Fuck you, George, I can't swim." I said, "Okay, all right."
But-
so where are they?
So that operation, you got your silver star or your
I
Namu
think that's one of the things that they gave me this Bronze Star thing, and then one thing too. We went at Tinlong River because there's a lot of army spabs, you know, that got killed there. Those fast boats that they had. So I didn't know that we were instructed to go in there until we are going on a night patrol. You know, we have always the night brief, and then the commanding officer, Commander George Stephenkovich, is our commander. I said, then during our brief, he said, 2 of our boats will go at Tinlong River. I said, so all of us knew what Tinlong River is. That's almost far fight going there. I said, so we're hoping that we're not the ones, you know. And then at the end of the briefing, he said, "Okay, I'll be riding with George, PBR 142, and Lieutenant Nelson will be riding with PBR 139. I said, "Oh shit, here we are. We are going in Tinlong River." See, so we wait. Seven coverage is in my boat. He's cool. He don't say anything. He just let me drive the ship, the boat. So I recommend, I said, "Sir, if we're going to go in there, let's wait. It gets dark a little bit, you know. Let's wait for the moon to go behind the clouds or something like that, just to cover, so it'll be dark." I said, "Okay, it's up to you, George." So we went in. So we waited. We went in. I told the cover boat, "Stay outside, okay? Let's not get in there together. We might get hit together."
Right.
You know. He said, "We were not in 100 yards, 100 meters inside." I switched my radar like that, and I saw 3 blips, you know. So I turned it on. I told my fire gunner, I said, "Dave, I got 3 contacts in front of us, about 100 yards." So he looked, you know. We had the starlights. He said, "George, there are fishing stakes." I said, "Okay, no problem." So
Fishing
again,
stakes?
Oh, that's what he told me. I said, they're moving. They're not fishing stakes. So he looked again. I said, "God damn, George, get calm, you know." 3 boats surrounding us like that. So I kept saying, I said, you know, quick thinking. And I said, "Okay." So I put it in full bore. I hit the first boat and go around it like that. So all of them were just doing like that. They had I can say about 30 persons in there.
Oh, no,
they're big boats.
The sampans or no?
No, they're not. They're big boats. They're not sampans.
Okay.
They're big. They can carry about 10 each.
So you rammed them.
I ram them,
Yeah.
side. And then we start shooting them, you know. And And then the cover boat came in, things like that. And before you know it, it's quiet, you know. The helicopters all flying in, all the help and things like that. Because we were getting fire from the banks too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when everything was clear, quiet, Commander Stephen Cowage says, well, you can see that water too is getting red, blood, you know. Yeah. 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 Then while we were checking our boat, my after gunner said, George, there's one swimmer there. So I took my 38, hit him, you know. It's gone. He didn't, because he's bobbing his stick. These guys, they have all kind of explosives and they're gonna throw it to the boat.
Yeah, they're gonna chuck it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we got out, Lieutenant our CO, Commander Stephen Guy said, okay, I think it's better for us to get some rest. This is enough for tonight.
Yeah.
So okay. So we went back.
So you have 30 confirmed?
We have, yeah. We have, yeah. But
30
because
confirmed.
about 2 or 3 days later, we have reports that there are about 27 bodies
Yeah.
floating in the river.
So during this time too, this is what month is this? This is
Around, it was September, I think it was, I forgot what it was.
I only ask because like this sounds very like reminiscent of like October 31st with BM1 Williams. Did you ever meet him before?
I heard, yeah, I never met him. He's a Medal of Honor winner.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, what was it? I think, 1968, 27.
August 27, 1968. 3 sampan being caught from making river crossing under cover of darkness. He took the swimmers and the bank security elements under fire, causing heavy personnel and material loss to enemy. Yeah. And then you got the combat V.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So you did Vietnam for 2 years. After when did you make chief?
I made chief in 1971, July 1971.
Saan? Dito or sa Pilipinas?
Sa, ano na, sa Washington, D.C.
Ah, okay. So you went back to East Coast.
Yeah.
And then when did you meet your wife?
Oh, that's a story.
I like this. I like stories.
After the firefight, there's so many intelligence reports, you know, because I think that they knew me because I think I'm the only Filipino gunboat captain during the time that patrols that river. Because the Vietcong know me. They have spies all over the place.
Right.
So, CO, my Stephen Cowage, told me, I said, George, I think it's best that you get off the country first to cool it down.
Okay.
You know. So he gave me about instead he gave me about 5 or 7 days vacation. I said, where do you want to go? I want to go to the Philippines. Yeah. And that's where I met her.
On your leave.
Yeah.
Saan? Manila?
In Pasay City. It was funny because it was Tuesday when I arrived.
You
in
remember the
Philippines.
day?
Yeah, I can't forget. It was a Tuesday. So that night, me and my friends went to cockfight.
Sabong.
Sabong, yeah. And we lost. I lost my money. So the following day, I told him, I said, I got some checks. I need to be cashed, you know.
Yeah.
So one of my best friends said, okay, I know a place in Pasay City at Cartimar.
Pinay siya? Pinoy
Pinoy,
siya?
yeah.
Pinoy, okay.
Pinoy, yeah. I know a place in Cartimar, Pasay City, that we can cash the check. I said, okay. So we went there. But the owner said, no, it's too big. I can't cash it. So, okay. So we went to Manila. And we cashed it there. And then while we were eating, this guy asked me, he said, George, you're single, aren't you? I said, yeah, I'm single. He said, I'm going to introduce you to a girl. I said, oh, no problem. But if you're just going to fool with her, don't do it because his uncles are all cops. Going to shoot your ass.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So we went back to Cartimar in Pasay. And he said, okay, wait here by the street and I'll just check he got his office. So while I was waiting for them, I looked inside this big radio well place, where they sell organs, big stereos, and things like that. And I saw the girl playing piano. So I went inside, and that's her. She was playing piano, organ, huh? Then she looked back and asked me, "Can I help you, sir?" I said, "Oh, I was caught in the spot. I was in the spot." I said, "Oh, okay. I want to buy an organ."
When you looked at him, what did you say? Anong gusto mo?
I said,
Or can I help you?
I want to buy an organ. He said, she pointed to me the big Yamaha organ. I said, "Well, that's too big. All I need is a small one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give it as a gift, but that's just all BS. I'm not." I said, "Oh, okay. I think we have one upstairs." And I said, "Oh, shit, here we go. I'm going to buy an organ here." And luckily, she came down and said, "Oh, we just delivered it. But I can order you some if you want." I said, "Oh, okay, that's okay." Then I asked her, "Okay, what's your name?" And she told me her name. I said, "No, I want your whole name." So then she said, "Okay, where do you live?" She told me the place, Protasio. That road is too long. Where in Protasio do you live? So she gave me that. It's okay. I'll visit you tonight.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Galavanting at night,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So we were talking when these guys came back,
Yeah.
and I told her, "Okay, where's the girl that you're going to introduce me to?" I said, "You're talking to her." I said, "Oh. That's her?" Okay.
So it was meant to be then.
Yeah. So I visited her that night. It was a Wednesday night when I visited her. But she got a lot of suitors. Kaming nanliligo sa kanya eh. So I always end up in the kitchen.
Would you do harana? What did you do?
No, I was planning that.
Walang harana?
Wala. So it was a Wednesday. So I came back again on the Thursday. Again, I end up in the kitchen talking to her grandmother and things like that. And, well, Thursday, Friday again, I said, "Oh shit, man, I won't be able to talk to her." So I said, "Okay, let's make a plan." So I asked my comadre to come up with some kind of a birthday party for my inana godchild and anything like that, and we're going to invite her.
Okay.
So she agreed. So she went to the house, asked permission to invite her and things like that, and her parents agreed. So the following day, had the Jeep waiting for her. So she came back. She came in, and then we went towards Las Piñas, and then we turned to Cabiaslan. And then she said, "Hey, we're not going to Las Piñas here."
Where'd you guys go?
I told her, "I'm going to take you to Bicol." He was scared.
It's so far.
He was scared.
I think you call that kidnapping now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think you got kidnapped.
Yun ang sabi ng mga anak ko.
So we went all the way. We went past Cuyab, those beach resorts and like that. I know she was scared. Then she said, I think just an excuse. "I'm so hungry." So we stopped at the restaurant right by Binyang, and we ate. wait. Frog legs. They had no recipe but frog legs.
Frog legs.
I said, "Okay, frog legs, okay." So while we were eating, I had me a blank marriage contract.
When did you decide to?
He told me to sign it right away. And
Was it so? Were you trying to get the extra money for being married, or just,
No,
just because you wanted it?
just to make sure. So I presented her the blank marriage contract, and she looked at it. "It's a marriage contract.
Sabi niya.
If I sign it, that means we're married." "Well, I'm going to marry you anyway."
Yeah,
So
because you kidnapped her.
Yeah.
so I told her, "Well, if you're not going to sign it, I'm gonna take you home." So she signed it.
How old were you at this time?
I was about 26, 27.
When I'm 19.
Ikaw po.
19.
Like,
7 years.
nah.
So I told her, I said, "If you're not going to sign this, I'm not going to take you home." So
I should do that.
She signed it.
Back again, yeah.
So she signed it. Yeah.
So you guys got married at
Not-
that. When did you guys get married?
Not yet.
Mhm.
I still have to go back to Vietnam, see? And I told her, I'll be back. I promise you I'll be back.
That's where he bought the ring.
In Vietnam.
Yeah, but it has a last, just like a last will when he bought the ring.
Because we were sent to Traku. When I get back to Vietnam, the patrol unit at Traku was getting smothered, you know. So they need some reinforcements.
When you met him, what did he tell you that he did?
I didn't tell her
He
anything.
didn't
Huh?
tell me that he's Navy. Wala siyang sinabi ko anong trabaho niya. Wala akong alam. Kaya nung aalis na, sabi ko,
Yeah, what did-
aalis? Parang ganun lang. Tapos doon ko lang nalaman na, okay, nasa Vietnam. Okay, tapos bumalik siya around July.
July.
Yung magbe-birthday ako, binibilisan niya yung ano namin. Hindi, April.
Yeah.
Binibilisan niya yung wedding namin. Pagdating namin sa City Hall, ayaw kaming ikasal kasi American citizen siya.
Bawal yan?
Bawal. Before, yung people from Saudi where he filed yung marriage ano namin, they had to investigate me. That was in 1968.
So that way, so they didn't want it to make it. So that way it wouldn't look like you're just marrying for citizenship.
Yes, yes.
Ah.
May mga investigador, but they go to the neighbors, not straight to us.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
but is that why you never mentioned that you were Navy before? Or?
Yeah, I
Or
didn't
what
have
was the
enough
reason?
time to really talk because,
Yeah,
like
about
I
it,
said,
yeah.
every time I visited her, there's so many suitors, I can't talk to her. I can't even talk to her.
Eh.
So I have to use my military mind.
So you used your training to kidnap
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
At least it worked though, right?
It worked, yeah.
We were married for 56 years.
Oh, congrats.
Going on
Married 56 years
57
now.
this year.
What's the secret besides kidnap?
I always.
60-40.
60-40?
right?
She's
Not
always,
50-50.
I'm
Ikaw
always
60.
I'm always.
Sometimes he's...
Oh, so you balance it. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
just balance it.
And then how many kids do you guys have?
We have 3 boys. We have 6 grandchildren.
Wow. Are any of them nurses?
Our granddaughter. Our
Grand-
daughter-in-law.
daughter-in-law is a
she's
traveling nurse.
nurse.
That's what I do right now. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, I got my nursing in 2020. Then I've been doing nursing since then. I work at 6 hospitals now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't mind driving it because I went to school over here in Cal Baptist.
Wow.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Our
you,
daughter-in-law.
what did you kidnapped her, came back, went back to Vietnam,
You
tried to
can.
do the wedding.
Yeah.
Yes.
During that time though, were you guys already wearing the black berets?
Oh yeah, we've always been wearing black berets.
So can you tell me the story of the black beret? Because I've heard different accounts, but I just want to see what everybody else is saying about it.
I think one of the reasons why we wear the black beret because a lot of these special forces thing, particularly the army guys,
Because they were doing the same job as you
they
guys
had the
did.
green beret
Yeah.
and things like that. So we want to be different from them, to be, so that they know that hey, this guy is a Navy guy.
Mhm.
We had that black beret. Yeah, I had it in Las Piñas. I left in the Philippines, the black beret. And our fatigue uniform then is different from the fatigue that the army guys wear. We wear the straight green. We don't have those spotted things like
Oh,
that.
this is
you know.
straight olive
Just
green.
straight green, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's it. We are green beret.
Black beret. green
Black beret, yeah. They got the green beret. Some of them got the red and things like that.
Anong feeling mo when you got the beret though?
Feel proud.
Yeah.
Feel special. Because if you look at it, we are really in special forces. Because they just established that Riverine Force during that time, see? And that gives a non-commissioned officer to be in command. That's the best thing. That's the best part of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, non-commissioned petty officers given command of a gunboat too.
Pero
you know.
only yung boat captain issued yung black beret.
No,
or
everybody.
Everybody got the black
Everybody,
beret, right?
Everybody.
But everybody on your boat, you were teaching them how to drive the boat, how to do
Yeah,
everything on
everybody
the boat.
must know, how to drive the boat. Yeah, because that's all. When we went to training, regardless of your bosun mate, engine man, whatever, they let you drive the boat.
Yeah.
You let you drive the boat. Yeah, but like I said, being a Filipino, they always, even my gunboat, my cover boat, he became my best friend. He was an engineman second class, Ron Davis. Oh, he's a redneck son of a bitch. Boy, oh boy. At first, man, I can't stand him at first because he kept calling me all kind of communist names. He called me Hawk. He called me, hey, you, Stuart, come here. Yeah. So I didn't mind it. I was just joking. But after our first firefight, come on, boy. He changed a lot.
Yeah.
He showed so much respect to me and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, George, you are no steward, you're a fighter. I said, yeah, okay, thank you. And then he even when we have to eat, there are times that he won't even sit with me and things like that. But after that first firefight, because he was caught in the firefight, and he was, George, don't leave me. I said, no, I'm behind you. God damn it, just keep firing,
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as we went out, he said, he gave me a hug. He said, oh, George, thank you very much. I said, oh, it's okay. You do the same thing for me. I know that.
I think things don't change because even in my unit they call me Kim Jong Un.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. See,
But
Nothing changes.
it's
like
my
this.
yeah. I tell my man, I said, no, you're getting paid to follow my orders. God damn it.
So I tell you, if you're gonna call me Kim Jong Un, I'll act like Kim Jong Un too. You
Yeah.
know?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
the color of their skin.
Yeah.
Well, that was funny, One of the reasons why I extended in Vietnam so that I can get a good duty, maybe a short duty.
It was the arduous duty, right?
Yeah,
Arduous
duty.
So that way you can get.
I can get, see?
Okay.
Because I plan to marry, maybe get a short duty and marry, because I plan to marry her after Vietnam.
Uh-huh.
I get a short duty. But, no, you know what? They gave me the USS Hasayampa. Again, a tanker, So I went to the tanker, got married. I went aboard the tanker. I rode the tanker Hasayampa from Sasebo, Japan, and I took her back to Pearl Harbor. So we're not even moored, we weren't even tied up.
You're just out there.
He said they passed the word at 21MC. He said, QMC Trono, lay to the personal office. I said, oh shit, what for? So I went down there. Then he told me, he said, okay, pack up, you're leaving. I said, what? I'm not even here a month. I'm getting orders? Yeah. I said, where to? He said, USS Reclaimer, ARS 42. You stay in Hawaii. I said, why are they transferring me as soon as this? I'm not even here a month. I don't know, you ask the headquarters.
Yeah.
So I checked out. I went to the headquarters, 7 Squadron 3, I think it was. So I asked him, I said, why am I getting transferred right away? He said, you'll find it when you get on board the ship.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. So I went on board the ship. It was Friday. I went to the bridge and I talked to the QM gang, Paramasa gang. It was a QM2 Bartos was the head quartermaster then. I asked him, hey, what's wrong? What's happening here? He told me, well, we just come out of the yards and we cannot pass the navigation training. I said, what? He said, okay, what is this navigation training that you can't pass? He said, we cannot pass the magnetic piloting. I said, oh shit, that's easy. Okay, the first thing I asked him, have you swung the ship?
Is that are you checking for variance?
There you go, yeah.
Yeah.
All heading, cardinal headings and intercardinal headings.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look for variation, that's right, variance, yeah. He cannot give me a straight answer, I said, no, I'm asking you, have you swung the ship? Then he said, yes, but. I said, what do you mean, but?
Not all the way.
Not all the way. No. What they did was they took the magnetic compass and thing, and they took it on board the Mike boat, and they swing it right there inside the harbor. I said, what? So I look at the deviation table. I said, no wonder you cannot pass. The deviations are 15 degrees, 10 degrees. Man, you can't. It's too big.
Yeah.
I don't know why they even let you get out with this goddamn magnetic compass thing. So the EXO was there. He was also the navigator. He was a lieutenant. I told EXO, what's the story on this deviation table? Who swung the ship? He was, I did it. I said, sir, the deviation is so big. Just leave it like that. You know? I said, what?
Yeah, even if you're off by 1 degree, you're gonna go somewhere else.
You know, sir, this deviation is so big. You can't pass any navigation exercise with this deviation, using this deviation.
Yeah.
And he said, just leave it like that. I'm the navigator. I said, sir, I'll be the one navigating. So I think we should change this deviation table. No. I said, that's okay. So Monday, we got underway again. We flunked again. So the captain was pissed, And he came back to me, the EXO, after we tied up. He said, Trono, you disobeyed my lawful order. I said, what? He said, I told you to hang the deviation table by the compass, but you didn't. Well, first of all, I don't want the guys, the first training guys, to see it, because otherwise they might not let us get underway. So I took it with me. But still, you disobey my law. Oh, I threw it. I threw it. I said, now this is getting personal between you and me. This is wrong.
This is you as a first class, right?
I was a first class. So I thought that's it, So rest up. Fucking, I'm gonna get liberty. Chief Master Arms stopped me by the quarter deck. He said, Trono, you're not going anywhere. I said, oh, what do you mean? You're going to captain's mast.
Ilang taon ka? How old were you at this time?
I was about 20, about 20, 25, like that.
Okay.
25, 26, yeah.
26.
Yeah.
Okay, also you just got out of Vietnam.
I
so
just got out of
happened.
Vietnam, yeah.
Ah,
Not even a month out of Vietnam.
dang.
I was already going to mass with disrespect to lawful order.
What was your feeling though when you found out that you were going to be leaving PBR when you're leaving Vietnam? Happy,
I was
sad?
kind of sad anyway, because I'll be leaving my old crew, some of my crew that's been with me during all these firefights and things like that, many firefights.
But amongst your crew, how many people did you get? How many boat captains did you make?
Oh, beside our river division, 532, because we have 531 boat captains. Because we don't see each other that long, because we all see each other in the mess hall or something about eating, and then we just say hi, and then before we go out on patrol, we joke. We tell jokes, because you'll never know. We'll not see each other again, because there are times that we talk to him before we go on patrol. We came back on patrol. We come back and ask him, where's so and so? Oh, they got hit. They got ambushed. I said, oh shit, man, like that. So we just know each other by we really don't have to talk too much.
Yeah.
Only my patrol, my gunboat, cover boat. That's where we were very close, because we patrol day in and day out.
Do you remember seeing Summerall?
Yeah, we saw Summerall.
Always. Every reunion.
We have a reunion, so we see. I make sure that we see each other.
I'm planning on going to the one in Washington. August 19 through 21.
That's what, yeah.
So I'll go there, but I wanted to invite you for our beret ceremony. Mr. Watson, he's the one that's going to be coming down, but if you want to, I would like you to be there too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's April 13th on Sunday.
April 13th
Opo.
on Sunday. Okay.
So we'll be ordering the berets. I think as of right now, the count, because I know that amongst the Gamewarden Association. A lot of you guys are getting up in age, but what surprises me is how coherent and clear and concise you guys still are.
Yeah.
You know, because working in the medical field, I hear 81, and I'm already thinking, oh, this guy's gone already. So, pasensya po.
I'm 82. I'm 82
You know,
years old.
like,
Yeah.
kasi
This is what
see Mr.
General-
Watson, he's still riding
General
his
Abrams
motorcycle.
gave me.
Yeah.
He's still riding his motorcycle, his 1000cc motorcycle.
Yeah.
Galing.
And this is what the Republic of Vietnam gave me a medal of honor. Yeah, they'll give me all kinds of stuff.
This is your write-up?
That's the Vietnamese government gave me.
Wow. You have the Vietnamese Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
Do you still remember Vietnamese? Do you still know how to speak Vietnamese?
I can tell it because we went to Vietnamese school language.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one reason why. Before, you know, when in 1967, we always have a Vietnamese army riding the boat as a translator, you know, but it's just carrying weight.
Yeah. They're not doing anything. They're just
They're not doing
translating.
anyway, so it's just carrying weight, and the best defense is our speed, you know.
Yeah.
So we talked to our CEO and said that we don't need them anymore because we can understand the Vietnamese because we went to the school.
Yeah.
And when you talk to them on a daily basis,
You pick up this.
then you start, you know. So we start picking up Vietnamese language,
Okay.
and I think that's the best way to come up with some friends,
Yeah.
Vietnamese friends. I have a, I think he was about 10 or 12 years old, Vietnamese boy,
Mhm.
that always comes when he sees me, he comes to our boat, and I gave him, you know, our sea rations,
Yeah.
and things like that. But he also gave me some information about,
Oh, so you had a little spy.
yeah, 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 yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my best friend. I live with him and my like 3 other friends. We have a house in Cerritos. And he's Vietnamese. The dad's Vietnamese. So like I think it's always full circle. And then you mentor Corp during season.
Yeah.
It's also Vietnamese too. And then he has his coxswain pin. He's gonna be the one doing the ceremony too. So I
Oh,
feel
wow.
like it's for me it's full circle, especially for this community.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I made a lot of friends in the river.
Yeah.
Small, you know, those young guys.
I've been with Marine with Mesron since 2019,
Oh, yeah.
and then I made chief 2 years ago.
Here we go. Wow.
How was your season? Well, where did you find out you made chief?
I was first class when I went to Washington D.C. in 1971.
71.
71.
Were you there with him already?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, so you guys were separated for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you had I call mine my mail order bride.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
And then everybody thinks I just tell her she's my imaginary girlfriend because no one's ever seen her.
I was
Yeah, that's how it is.
and I was there as a first class career navigation place, you know. And there was a time I already took the exam, the chief exam for about the second time, you know.
Oh, you had the PNA.
Yeah, PNA, yeah. And Admiral Zumwalt, he was the CNO then.
Mm.
And it just so happened that he was gonna ride his plane right there by it. And then, you know, I look at him and I look at me and said, Admiral, you know,
So you met him personally?
yeah, at the Traku.
Ah.
When our cover boat was hit,
Yeah.
him and General Abrams went there to give us a eulogy.
Uh-huh.
And then he saw me, he said, goddamn Filipino, this guy here is boat captain, you know,
Yeah.
things like that. And we invite them to ride the PBRs, you know. You know what Abrams told us?
What?
I'm not gonna ride those floating coffins. Yeah, that's what he told us. I'm not gonna ride the floating coffins. Yeah, that's what he told us.
You didn't impress him with your driving?
Yeah, we were gonna impress him, you know,
Yeah.
but they don't want ride. They want ride.
Aw.
They want ride. So we have a little talk, you know, And he looked at me, I'm still first class. So I told him, I said, I wrote him a letter. I gave it to his personal steward. And I told him, I said, I passed the chief in Vietnam, 68. I passed the exam in 69. Again, now I took the exam and things like that. I think it's very unfair that these guys get promoted get advanced without even taking an exam.
Yeah.
Well, me, I took the exam in Vietnam and passed it.
Yeah.
So, about a week later,
You told everything you just said. You told Admiral Zumwalt.
Admiral Zumwalt, yeah. Yeah. I told Admiral Zumwalt about that.
Yeah.
And about a week later, personal office give me a call and said, hey, George, there's something here from CNO, checking your records and things like that. I said, like that. I said, oh, okay. Yeah, I told Admiral Zumwalt about what happened, And before you know it, it was July, I was being promoted to chief instead of September, see?
Because of Admiral Zumwalt.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Very
I
good.
think so. I was the promotion, what, September or November, something like that?
Yeah.
But July, I was promoted to chief.
So did you go through the following chief season or the initiation?
Yeah, I went to there. Yeah, he was.
Oh, yeah.
By that time,
He was
he's
so-
already there.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
I just got-
you just got there and then you were
yeah.
going through initiation?
Yeah, chief,
How,
yeah.
how
Yeah.
was that for you?
Oh my gosh, he's wearing my house
They
clothes.
let me
And then
wear
he's
with
wearing
You're wearing the
wig.
high
duster.
heels, a wig.
Yeah, a
the
duster,
mumu.
wig. Pag-uwi niya, lasing na lasing siya.
Huh?
Tapos yung ulo niya, pinasok niya na doon sa toilet bowl. He keeps throwing up.
He let me drink all kind of stuff. I was drunk.
It was a different Navy back then.
Yeah, it was good Navy. And then, like you said, they always try to underestimate you. We have a chief wave.
No, it's okay.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so everything
I'm gonna edit some stuff out so that way they.
We had
So,
a-
yeah, let him hear
We
the
had
story. Why you didn't make warrant.
I was recommended for LBO.
Okay.
Okay, but this chief, I don't know what. She had something against
Lalaki, babae?
babae,
Ah,
white.
Okay.
We had an argument about he wants to take my man off his place of work to her man's place of work just anytime she wants, So I told her, chief, you cannot do that because every time there's a flight out, we need a man in our office because when the pilots come back, they have this navigation bag with blank checks on it.
Why do they have blank checks?
This is in case they have an emergency. They can use the blank
Ah.
check, these pilots.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure that all the checks are there.
Okay.
Because I know, Kako, that the first guy here got in trouble because of that. He did not check those blank checks. It was used but was not accounted for.
Yeah.
So that's a big,
Yeah, you're stealing money.
I don't want that to happen during my watch. He told me, Chief Trono, I'm tired of you. So I told her, well, I'm tired of you too. She tried to slap me. Yeah. She came to me and I just fended my hand. Luckily I was gonna hear. But I used my thumb and then show it in face. I said, you're lucky. You're a goddamn woman, otherwise I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. And it was right there by passenger service. So everybody was okay.
So, but they saw her that she was the
Yeah.
first one to strike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's long. I mean, so
Yeah.
What was the outcome of that incident though?
She's white.
Okay.
The operations officer found out about that.
But they shot.
Yeah, and they had my LDO thing like that.
Oh no.
Yeah,
What did they do?
he called me up. Commander Lange, I cannot forget his name. And yes, he tried to. I didn't like the way he spoke to me. He said, you know, Chief Trono, this and that, this and that. I said, Commander, everybody saw what happened, God damn it. If I explained it to you, I don't think you'll believe me. Because the way you talk, you already accused me of doing that damn thing. So, and he had that LDO thing on his desk. Now, if you are using that as what you call to scare me, so I took the damn thing and threw it right in his face. Here, you can have it. Is that all?
What did you say?
He didn't talk, so I just said, if that's all said, then I'll see you.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I don't know. They always get me on some petty things, you know, like you know, the Master Chief of the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, remember him? The first one
McBond over
with that.
Black, right?
The first one was white. I mean, he was Master Chief Whitted, his name, and he was there waiting for a flight, and he's the Master Chief of the Navy. So I said, Chief, Master Chief, stay in the VIP room. I'll let him stay in the VIP. He's a VIP. Those guys upstairs found out about it, and he called me up. He said, you don't put the chief head off. I said, he's the Master Chief of the Navy. No. Ain't he a very important person? But he said, no matter what, no enlisted man goes in there. I said, okay, no problem. And then Inspector General, Vice Admiral Johnson, I cannot forget his name. Every time he comes for a flight, he goes to my office and he asks me, Chief, where's my plane? Oh, okay. It's right there, sir, right there in the runway. Okay. Drive with me. So I go with him to the car. He drives it right by his plane. And I drove it back to the parking spot.
Yeah. They don't like that.
Every time I do that, there's always a goddamn MP right there waiting for me. Take me up to the... I said... So I told her, I got so tired. I said, Commander, the operation officer looked at me and said, Chief, you know damn well that you're not supposed to drive that car in a runway. Well, sir, I know that. But I told the Admiral that. So why don't you tell the Admiral instead of me? Because I'm tired of telling him. He just
And then
he can't say anything.
Yeah.
I said, man, you know, I'm getting tired of this because every time he comes here, I get called in your office and we talk about the same damn thing, you know.
Yeah.
Why did you know damn well it's not supposed to drive? I said, well, why didn't you tell it to the Admiral? You know, and I don't know. Admiral John, he comes in there, he leaves his coat, you know. Chief, can you leave his coat here in your office? I'll pick it up when he comes out. Yes, sir, no problem. So I put it in the hanger, hang it by now. They don't like that. I said, what can we do? You know, what can I do?
How long? So how many years of service did you have?
25.
25. And then what did you do after the 25 years?
I went
Went to school.
I went to college. I finished political science. 4 years at PCU, Philippine Christian University.
Sa Cavite?
No, in Manila.
Manila.
I was getting.
Oh, so you went back to the Philippines?
Yeah, I went back and took political science.
And then what was your aspirations for political science?
I wanted to be a lawyer. So, yeah. And I studied law, but then I came to find out I cannot practice law unless I gave up my U.S. citizenship. So I said, the hell with it.
What did you do after that?
It helped me though,
Yeah.
because I was sued in the Philippines.
For what?
What was that?
He fought for yung property ng grandmother.
My grandmother
niya.
owns a
And
property.
you know kung sino kalaban niya.
Yeah.
It's Ayala Corporation.
Ako.
I beat him.
Yeah.
You beat them?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. It was a court case for 6 years.
I know the property laws in the Philippines are so crazy because then
I know.
you can buy the title, but that title doesn't necessarily mean you own the land. You
Yes.
just own the piece of property that's owned by somebody else. You own
Oh.
a portion of it. It doesn't make any
Yes.
sense.
You
to
know
me.
what they do? I've been through that. I've been through that
There's
Ayala
so
and
many
Phil State.
fraud and everything
Yes,
too.
that's right.
They don't have the original title. They always have the transfer certificate
That
of
one.
title.
That one, yeah.
And then right there by the encumbrances, they get all the notes there. It's been sold to this, sold to that,
Yeah.
sold to this, sold to that.
That's
There's so
what
many.
happened with the golf course, the Air Force golf
Air
course.
Force, yeah.
That's why Marriott was using it for a long. Well, now I think Marriott uses it now, but then it used to be only Air Force.
Yeah.
And they said like, well, they went to court, same deal. But 6 people were able to show, no, we own these plots
I
of
know,
land.
yeah.
You guys just started
Yeah.
building your golf course. We
They
said
al-
no, but you guys did it anyway. Then it
They
became
always
this
have the.
whole thing.
They don't have the original. They always have the
Yeah.
transfer certificate of title, TCTs.
Yeah.
I've been through that. I studied that, and I beat them. Yeah.
Yeah, Ayala Corporation, they had all those 100 titles sitting on his grandmother's mother title.
Ay, nako.
I beat them.
Yeah.
So when you were in the Philippines, when did you emigrate back to America? When did you start settling down here? What year?
This is the first one because
No,
I
it
done
was
one.
in it was in 2005. We don't have any plans of coming back. We want to
I
stay
got
there
tired.
doing
I want to
ballroom,
stay in the
you know,
Philippines.
is
You wanted to
doing
stay in the
sabong.
Philippines?
Yeah, I like to go to cockfights.
Yeah,
God
me
damn.
too.
Yeah.
You too?
Yeah.
Love that.
That's
Oh,
my,
man.
so when I went
Yeah.
when I went to Africa, my
Shit.
one of the closest friends I made, Putesha, he's from Oregon.
Oh.
And then I was always FaceTiming.
Oh.
I was always FaceTiming my wife, and then I
Yeah.
met her through my cousin. So then he's like, "Oh, your cousin, like yeah, you go to the Philippines. I'll show you a good time. You know, you can hang out with my cousin. I don't care, right?" And then we go there, take him to go see. There's midget boxing in Makati.
Makati, yeah,
It's a
yeah.
ringside, and then went
Yeah.
sabong after.
Yeah.
Then when I saw Apo Wang Od sa Buscalan in the mountains, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
she gave my tattoo, and then
Oh, yeah, wow.
she got the tattoo too.
I breed my own fighting cocks.
I want this.
I breed.
What I heard though is that now sabong is kind of like I'll stop. I'm gonna end the
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.